No, Clyde Beatty.
Oh, it's Beatty, too?
Clyde Beatty, yes.
And if a lion is at him, it's Clyde Beatty. He set that up for you, didn't he?
And we've now had a splendid example of what can happen to very nice people after 13 years of association with Bennett Cerf.
You know, Mr. Cerf, that you are right near the Tilton School where John Daly went when he was a boy, and she said, I taught him when he was a little boy. And I said, what was he like? She said, he was a cherub, but he couldn't spell. She said, we asked him to spell weather one day, and he spelled it W-E-I-T-H-O-U-R, and we told him that's the worst spell of weather we've had in New Hampshire in 30 years. And here is that cherub himself, John Charles Daly. I staggered a bit on the way out. It's because the panel moderator told me just before I came out a terrible story about a chicken who was misbehaving. And his mother hen came over and said, if your father could see you now, he'd roll over in his gravy. Oh! The man who perpetrated that atrocity is John Charles Daly.
Mr. Barber calls his aunt houses, which he makes himself and sells, and by the way, he's helping his college education this way. He calls them antariums.
My aunt put me through college.
An antarium. My aunt put...
I was bursting with joy until our distinguished panel moderator just told me a terrible Christmas pun about a commissar in Moscow named Rudolph. And he was walking down the street of Moscow with a young married couple, and he felt a little drop on his tunic, and he looked down and said, it's raining. And the girl said, it isn't raining, it's snowing. And at this, her husband got very angry and said, Rudolph the Red knows rain, dear. Oh!
Is it as big as a tank?
Yes.
Well, is it a tank?
No, that makes it 3 out of 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Tanks a lot.
Oh, no.
Garrison. That's his.
Bennett is supposed to do that. Mr. Somerville in California sent this to you, Bennett. He wanted you to know why there are so few telephones in China. It appears that there are a great many people in China named Wing and Wong, and they're afraid they'll wing the Wong number. Yeah.
Well, judging by that beautiful felt dress she's wearing, I think she works at a pool table plant.
Miss Francis, he's got some very nice side pockets, too.
Bennett, I think that's your cue.
Now, I have to tell you a story that Daly has just been telling backstage. It seems he went to the Yankee Stadium yesterday. He wanted to hear Bill Skowron speak. And while he was there, he saw a monkey selling potato chips at the ballpark. And he said, what are you doing here selling potato chips? And the monkey said, it figures, I'm a chipmunk. And here is the perpetrator of that story, John Charles Daly.
Am I right in thinking that the size of the building you work in is not germane to your work?
Yes, you are right in thinking that.
Arlene, just to square that away.
He doesn't look German.
Oh, Arlene.
Oh, that's in
I'll
memory
see you
of
later.
Yes, that was for Bennett.
That's for Bennett Cerf, wherever he is.
Lovely Jane Fonda on the program reminds me of a terrible pun that was told to me by her father, Henry Fonda, worse even than the ones that John Daly perpetrates. It seems at one time he was in a little Paris restaurant, and the waiter was insisting that he drink a whole glass of absinthe. And Fonda said, why are you trying to force this absinthe on me? And the waiter said, well, absinthe makes the heart grow, Fonda.
Am I right in assuming that you have, if I may, John, Mr. Pfister has nothing to do with either cheeses, watches, or hotels?
You gotta watch those cheesy hotels over there.
The mounted policeman we have outside the stage door has a horse that loves sweets. And every week, John has been giving this horse a donut, which the horse enjoyed very much. But tonight, when he gave the horse the donut, the horse bit him. And John was very hurt in more ways than one. And went over to the policeman and said, why did this horse bite me tonight when I gave him his donut? And the horse said, the policeman said, I've changed horses, and this is a horse of a different color. And that's why...
Well, that's our neighbor. Tom is with the Coast Guard, and he is a lighthouse keeper.
It's lonely work, isn't it? Are you married?
No, ma'am.
Oh, you gotta have a girl do the light housekeeping.
Bennett has been down in Atlantic City, had a wonderful week. Obviously rested a good deal, didn't have his mind really on his forte, which is, as you know, humor. Because the joke he brought back was, what's the difference between a tuna fish and a piano? And the answer is, you can tune a piano. And that's a pretty bad way to start a program.
You know why they call hurricanes by girls' names?
Well, it's an old cliche. I guess they're unpredictable, and you don't know how they're going to
There's
move.
another reason, too. They have another reason, too. They're hurricanes, not hurricanes.
Oh, no. As you doubtless have all seen, Bennett is bubbling tonight. And I don't know why I should suffer it all alone. He asked me if I'd heard about the man who had vinegar in his ears. And I said no, and he said he had pickled hearing.
Say it.
Are you a have you passed the bar?
Yes. Haven't we all?
Well, if John Daly looks a bit perturbed tonight, at dinner tonight, he was a little nervous, and he spilled first the soup, and then the meat, then the gravy, and then a plate of ice cream with chocolate sauce, and his wife declared him the winner of the spelling bee. And here he is, John Charles Daly.
Good night, Bennett. Is this a stamp on you?
I'm gonna send myself.
He's still chasing the U.S. mail. Good night, John.
Oh, no. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us for What's My Line.